Welcome to NFT NATION, the most relatable and reliable NFT and crypto podcast in the nation. I'm your host, Michael Wheeler, here with my co-host, Alex Ferguson.
What's up, guys?
In today's episode, we will be interviewing Andrew Lutes, the co-owner and founder of Dogebeans Coffee, located in beautiful Louisville, Kentucky. How's it going, Andrew?
It's going well. How about yourself?
Not too bad. It's great to be here. How are you doing? How you doing, Alex?
Pretty good.
So, okay. That's perfect. So, just to kind of start this podcast, we are interviewing Andrew because he's a local business owner here in Louisville, Kentucky that supports the crypto message and also incorporating NFTs into his business and so forth. So pretty much, Andrew, would you like to explain like who you are and what like this business pretty much is?
Yeah. So I got started in the crypto space. Well, really, I'll start with coffee. So I got started in coffee 10 years ago. I started off as a part-time barista at a Starbucks, knew nothing about coffee, didn't like the taste of it. I worked in Starbucks for a few years, became a store manager over time with Starbucks, which was great. Loved the experience there. And I got the awesome opportunity to join what Dogebeans previously was, which was called 78 Coffee Co. I was able to join it as a co-owner, go into partnership with someone on it, and where we roast all of our own coffee. It's all specialty grade. We've been roasting coffee here now for 3 years, which is pretty insane to even think about. And so we are the story behind Dogebeans is our coffee shop. While it was we were doing pretty well with our roasting and everything else, we had to close down our cafe just because of COVID. We're located in downtown Louisville on a one-way street, and just with everything that was kind of going on in the area with civil unrest as well as COVID, we decided it was best in our interest to go ahead and close down the retail cafe. And we were just focused on our roasting, right? We roast for other coffee shops, other restaurants, and offices, and all that kind of stuff. So we thought, okay, this is going to be it. You know, we're excited about this. Let's grow it and make it as best as it can be. From the start of January 2021, I ended up investing in this small little thing called Dogecoin. I was able to get in on it at under a cent, and during its first run up to 8 cents, in January it started to kind of come back down. And I sold at 7.5 cents. Sold almost everything that I had, thinking I was a genius, that 7 times my money, only to find out like 3 months later that it was going to go up to like 74 cents or whatever it was, and at its absolute peak. And but still at the time I was like, man, I have a lot of Dogecoin. This is crazy. I wasn't expecting this. I would love to be able to spend it on some coffee. It's the thing I love. I want to be able to use this thing that I've now invested in, I know nothing about. And so I went ahead and started looking online to buy coffee and couldn't find anywhere. And so I talked to my partner and co-owner about, maybe we do this like secret viral marketing thing. No one knows that it's 78 Coffee Co. We'll call it Dogebeans. We'll send coffee out to people. We'll accept cryptocurrency payments, and we launched our Dogebeans Twitter. And from then the story just gets completely insane. We saw a ton of traffic, especially at the beginning when we weren't really ready for it. Like my website wasn't really ready to handle all of it, and it was crazy. And we've been able to send coffee all over the country, and we've sent it to celebrities like Logan Paul. You can see our coffee on the Impulsive podcast, a picture that he posted up, and so it's been just pretty wild to see the just astronomical growth of it. That we were like, oh shoot, let's lean into this, let's rebrand, let's completely ditch the 78 Coffee Co. Name and integrate that into Dogebeans, and we'll just be Dogebeans. So we reopened our cafe in November of 2021. And it's been doing great. We're under this new name. We're one of the only coffee shops in the country to accept cryptocurrency. We're not converting our crypto immediately to US dollar. We're hanging on to the crypto, and it's been great. It's fun. It's crypto at the small business level. We want to be an example for other businesses. So, yeah,
that's great to hear. Congrats on all the success. So, aside from the business, tell us a little about yourself. Are you from Louisville? Did you move here somewhere?
Yeah, no, I'm homegrown. I guess so. I grew up in Mount Washington, so just south of Louisville. But I've always, been in Louisville. And so, yeah, I definitely grew up here. Love the city. I love seeing, I know Louisville's been through a lot in the last couple of years, and it's nice to see a bunch of excited energy around the crypto space for this city. I just think that we can be leaders and pioneers in the space, and I hope that Louisville becomes like a really cool crypto hub.
Crypto hotspot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So you obviously talked about how you're really into coffee and crypto and everything around that. Like, what are your before we get into all the crypto and kind of NFT kind of conversation with this podcast, what are your kind of hobbies outside of just coffee in this business? Like, what do you enjoy doing outside of that?
Just being an NFT degen. No, just kidding. Outside of here, I'm a musician and songwriter. Some of the things, that's probably my biggest hobby. My wife and I, we have a baby on the way, so that's taken up a lot of my time right now in remodeling our house. And, so it's just to get everything ready for this. And I think focused on music when I'm not working in coffee. That's usually the thing you'll hear me talking about. I'm just a nerd for songwriting, and then here lately it has been just kind of the crypto ecosystem, getting connected with some of the people here. That's just been a really fun hobby.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So moving towards more crypto and NFT stuff, what was kind of like your first experience with crypto? I know you talked about like first investing in a Doge. So was it like, did you see a YouTube video? Did you hear a podcast? Kind of what got you interested in crypto?
So the thing that got me interested, so I always described myself as kind of crypto adjacent before, because I had friends that were mining Bitcoin in 2014, 2015, pretty early on. I had another friend that was part of the Ethereum ICO. And so, yeah, so I've been around it. I've known that it existed. But I knew nothing about it. I knew the Doge meme, and so I literally happened to just catch that Dogecoin was kind of moving, and so I wanted to get in on that. But no, when I first got into space, it was primarily through Doge, but it was also through the Brave browser. And so the Brave browser is a very it's faster than Google Chrome. It's from the developers, one of the developers that helped build Firefox and JavaScript, and so it was a browser that I was really passionate about, because I was like, whoa, it completely disables Google Ads pays you for your data. And I didn't understand how it pays you for your data, because I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me, because they pay you in a cryptocurrency called the basic attention token. So I started looking into the tokenomics of the basic attention token. It took me down the rabbit hole of learning about Ethereum. And that was kind of the kickoff into the space, was actually learning through the Brave browser, and then getting involved into crypto Twitter, primarily through the Dogecoin side. So it's been a lot of fun. I've gone, and now I'm really into, I'm still really big on Ethereum. I still always love my Doge, and recently I've been getting into some Solana and some other layer ones. And it's been really exciting, and primarily the thing I just get most excited about with crypto in general is the use case, right? I'm excited about decentralization, what that means for so many industries that need decentralization. I think even on the perfect example is, like I said, I'm a musician, and I think about streaming royalties from services like Spotify and Apple Music. And you have platforms that are starting to spring up, like Audius, for example. That's all about decentralizing that kind of power to where you can give more to the artists that produce the music. And so there's just some really cool things that I get excited about with the decentralization piece. And so I'm into a lot of different cryptos. Doge will always be my number one.
Always up top.
What is that?
Doge is always up top.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah.
You mentioned how you obviously bought Dogecoin very early. Was Dogecoin the first crypto that you purchased with fiat money, or did you purchase anything else?
Back in 2018, when I was just getting into investing in general, where I started really paying attention to with my investments, I dabbled in. I bought some Bitcoin and Ethereum on Robinhood, not knowing what either one was. I knew of Bitcoin, but it's just because I had friends that were in the space. They're like, "Oh, these are the ones you want," and but I panic sold them at the end of 2018, and So it was just kind of a mess. Dogecoin was the one that I bought that really, because of the massive spike, I needed to understand what was going on behind it. And also, I had a lot of my investments in Tesla, and so I was a big Elon Musk fan. And seeing him posting about Dogecoin, I'm like, okay, I understand that it's a joke, but like Elon's really talking about it. So like, what is happening here? So it really sent me down the rabbit hole of learning about blockchain tech, how it works, what the difference between proof of work and proof of stake. What is Dogecoin? Is it its own chain, or is it something else? And so it really just kind of sent me down that rabbit hole of education.
Yeah. So what were your kind of first opinions on crypto? Was it like, oh, this is just going to give me money quick? Or is it going to be like a stock market where it's kind of just like anything can affect it sort of thing?
Yeah. So it's funny because I was never one to like when GameStop and AMC was like a huge thing last year, which really kicked off that massive crypto bull run.
If that didn't happen, Dogecoin would not have hit.
Yeah.
What was the peak? 60?
74 cents.
74 cents.
I'll never forget it. It's burned in my brain. So I was never one to kind of like, I guess, ape into a stock and or follow the hype. But my strategy has always been like, is it a product that I enjoy using? If it is, then that's something that I want to invest in. Do I believe in the company? Do I know who the leaders are? Do I know what their vision is? And so the Dogecoin was like my first foray into crypto, and it was primarily because I saw it spike, and it was really my first time ever aping into something. And I didn't really throw a whole lot. I just threw some fun money in to kind of catch the wave. And then when it took off, I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? And so that sent me down the rabbit hole of learning. And with crypto, I never saw myself being a crypto person. I usually like my friends that were into it, I mean, they would talk to me about it and they get all bug-eyed and, like they're like, this is the future, it's coming to take down everything. And I just didn't understand any of it. So I was very skeptical about crypto, and honestly, like Dogecoin was my first, really getting into it, but then learning about it through the Brave browser and seeing it in action really caused me to start thinking about what does decentralization and blockchain and crypto, NFTs, like what do all these things look like? What's the utilization behind them? How can we use it? So
that's awesome. Everyone, when you first get into crypto, you obviously have your opinions. You don't really know what it is until you fully dive deep into it. And you're like, okay, this does make sense. It has use case and everything. But especially for the coffee shop, what made you kind of believe in the fact that people would want to spend crypto on coffee and everyday items? Like, what made you kind of, or have the confidence to like believe that people would buy crypto with coffee, if that makes sense?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think so. Right now, we're in this phase still in crypto where it feels very much like, for instance, Bitcoin being kind of like digital gold, right? People are treating these as investments, and holding on to them very security. Like, people aren't necessarily trying to spend them. I also feel like specifically with Bitcoin, it's really difficult to try and convince someone to spend 0.00087 of something to buy a cup of coffee at a coffee shop, and so I think that holds a lot of people back from spending. The real benefit of Dogecoin in particular is everyone knows it's a meme, right? Everyone knows that it's based on this joke, and it's Bitcoin with a fluffy little dog face on it, and so people are way more apt to spend say 10 Doge on a cup of coffee. So that was the thing that really led me into it, because I knew enough about crypto by the time I was still pretty new, but I knew enough about crypto at the time when I launched Dogebeans to know that people were not going to be as likely to spend Bitcoin on coffee. They'd be much more likely to spend something like Dogecoin. And so that's what we leaned into with the coffee shop, was branding it around Doge, and thinking about people that would really want to use this as intended. And so Doge is a great use case for spendability.
Yeah, like just like Elon Musk said, even though Dogecoin is a joke, it would be more like it would be easier to use as a currency than Bitcoin, because it's so much more easy to transfer to Bitcoin, because there's so much
lower fees.
Lower fees. It's also the Bitcoin blockchain is so kind of just congested, because so many people are purchasing it to hold that it's very slow and very kind of it's kind of weird to say because it came out not like barely even like a decade ago, but it's still like prehistoric in the technology because it was the first of its kind. So.
Yeah, it was the first to ever come out. So, what troubles have you kind of found with starting a company that supports like the blockchain and crypto? Or people are like, nah, this is just going to be a scam because it's online money or something? Or
I think, at least in person, people are really a lot more receptive to crypto. Like we've had several payments in crypto since we've opened back up. We have a couple regulars that every time they come in, they're paying in Dogecoin. Or
Awesome.
I had a guy that came in and paid with Ethereum using his MetaMask wallet.
Really?
Yes.
Whoa.
And exactly. And I felt so bad for him because he spent like $6 on like 2 drinks, and then the gas fees were like $7 or $8. I was like, man, dude, I'm so sorry. Like the gas fees were more than the purchase. But he, was very passionate about Ethereum and wanted to be able to spend it. But I think in person, people are a lot more receptive of it. Usually we're having to explain a lot of things to people.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to simplify itself over time. And then also, we have gotten some pushback, I guess, not at all in the Twitter or Reddit spaces. It's more about like the local, like what you'd see on like Facebook, everyone, some people that think that it's just that either crypto is a scam or that it's destroys the environment, and just kind of those talking points are things that we've heard and we understand, like, and we get those perspectives, and there's always arguments for and against, and we understand that. So I think that's been a little bit interesting to navigate. I would say the trickiest part about running a business that accepts crypto, just in general, is if you're not directly converting crypto to USD, then you're having to deal with capital gains and losses.
Yeah.
So that's where it gets a little tricky. So especially you open one up in the start of in the middle of a bull run, and most things have just gone down since then. It's like, well, what do you do? This really sucks. But you move on, you press forward in the things that you're good at.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great to see that someone like you that is going to the local level and pursuing like the crypto message and kind of spreading it as soon as possible. What's kind of, or as much as possible, just like spreading it to as many people. And what's kind of been your experience or like history getting the message out of there? Like I've seen that you've been on like the local news. I saw you were on Spectrum One a few days ago. Like how have you, like other than obviously having the entire coffee shop, what has been your experience trying to push the crypto message out there?
Yeah, so we've done 2 different collaborations with breweries around town. So we have one currently with Falls City Beer right now. It's called Moonfuel. It's our Moonfuel Coffee Stout. And then we had one with Gravely Brewery that was called Crypto Night. And both of these we've been able to talk about crypto and Doge. To just talk about it, I've attended a couple of NFT meetups, and we've had some crypto meetups that's happened here. One of I met him through, he's just one of our customers here. His name is Zach, and we've started what we're calling the Louisville Blockchain Collective, which will just be primarily around education, wallet drives, and doing just a community meetups for people to all know each other, because there's actually a really like a thriving crypto space here in Louisville. There's just no one's talking to each other. So we just wanted to make a space for people to talk.
Yeah.
So it's a very kind of loosely knit thing that we're starting, but we just launched it. We just launched like the Twitter and Discord last week. But it's been pretty exciting. That's the things that I get excited about, is how can we spread the word about what crypto means for the small business? Because I would much rather have your local grocery store accept crypto before you see like the Amazons and the Apple or whatever. Like everyone's like, oh, we want Amazon to accept Doge or accept crypto in general. And it's like, but why? Like this is a chance for the small businesses to get ahead and to get ahead of the game and start accepting and be a part of it and be a part of the movement. And so that's what we want to do. And also we want to do like wallet drives and some of the, impoverished communities here in our city where like, hey, you come up and you download this app on your phone. Like we'll use the Phantom Wallet, for example. So you download the Phantom Wallet, we'll send you $5 in Sol and in Solana, and that you can have and watch it grow, and you can be a part of the ecosystem and start off decentralized
and gain money on it too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just ways of getting money into people's hands and talking about the virtues of decentralization and DeFi. And there's so many great things that we want to educate people on.
So Andrew, with your business, it's obviously important to have advertising since you're a local brick and mortar kind of store. What do you do when you go about advertising? Like, do you do just social media? Are you thinking about incorporating maybe commercials or anything? Like, what's your plan for advertising for the business?
Yeah, so we have a couple of, so we just brought on a new marketing firm because that was something that we realized was sorely needed. Because one of the things that we didn't realize when we jumped into social media ads in particular is Instagram blocks any hashtags that have anything to do with cryptocurrency if you're doing a sponsored ad. And like, I totally get why they would do that, but we didn't know that getting in. And so we were like, oh shoot, we can't, how do you as a crypto coffee shop market the crypto aspect if you can't pay for the ads to get out there? And so we had to bring on some teams to kind of help us with that. So we're doing some of that. We sponsor the Lou City FC Academy. They sell our coffee there in the concessions at the Academy. They've posted about us pretty frequently. We're looking to some other partnerships around town that we can do some like joint marketing stuff with. And for the most part, just like with crypto, we want a lot of this to the best way to grow your business is by word of mouth. That's where you get the strongest repeat customers and where people get excited about your product. So we've been very focused on making the best coffee that we can. I mean, that like, although we're a cryptocurrency based, or we're a crypto cafe that doesn't take ourselves too seriously, right? We're called Dogebeans. We're not the like super hipster kind of coffee shop, and that's not what we want to be. We don't want to take ourselves too seriously, but we do take our coffee very seriously. Yes. And so we hope that kind of helps really with the marketing push.
Yeah. So do you think that being able to pay with crypto and have customers pay with crypto, do you see that as an advantage for a business? I know that in the future it will definitely be a huge advantage, but as of right now, do you think it's kind of up there?
Yeah, I think the main advantage right now that we've seen is people get excited about that. Even though they may not be able to pay in cryptocurrency, they're excited that there's someone that's forward thinking. And so I think it helps a lot with like word of mouth kind of advertising, just in general. It creates a lot of momentum. It allows us to get a customer base that we normally probably wouldn't get. So that part of it is really cool. I think the advantages to having a crypto first approach is so if you are and this is what I'd say to any business that we talk to that we've worked with that's interested in accepting crypto. When you're a small business owner, if someone comes in your coffee shop, they want to buy a cup of coffee, right? And they're spending, $3.50 on like a mocha, whatever. If they're using a credit or debit card, that debit card is then charging the business a 3% fee off of every ticket that credit card provider keeps for providing the means of the transaction. When you're dealing with crypto, say if you just accept stable coins, for example, say we're accepting stable coins in a decentralized way, and they're just paying us directly into our wallet. That's just a wallet-to-wallet transaction that eliminates that 3% fee. So it's a huge advantage because it helps businesses have a lot more room for their bottom line to be able to focus it on the things that they want. Or say those businesses want to set that 3% aside and then have their customers own an NFT of the business, and then they disperse that 3% back out to all the customers. I mean, that's the kind of stuff we're thinking about with NFTs, right? Is like there can be ways for businesses to take advantage of that 3% fee that's added from credit card fees, as well as the fact that crypto settles instantly. Or as a matter of like when someone's paying with a credit card, we might not have access to that cash or those funds in our bank account for 24 hours. But with crypto, it's happening like within a matter of hours or minutes.
So obviously, you just talked about how you need to find like kind of advantages in the market to kind of just show that your business and be different than everyone. How does it feel to be a local small business in the world of huge corporations like taking on coffee and many other just like fast food chains? Like, how does it feel to be like your own, just this store?
Yeah. So to talk about kind of coffee in particular, so there are some what we call ourselves like a third wave coffee shop, and what that means is like the first wave of coffee is what kind of America experienced with coffee, with having like Folgers and Maxwell House, like ground coffee that you just make in your pot
like
at
your
home.
grandpa's coffee.
Yeah, exactly. And then you had second wave, which came out of Seattle. You see a lot of Starbucks, Seattle's Best, Pete's Coffee, a lot of these things that kind of grew out of that. That really populated the idea of the coffee shop. And now we're in a phase that we call third wave, where you're starting to see a lot of local specialty coffee. You see a lot lighter roasts, a lot more just kind of making the atmosphere, the local hub, community hubs. And so that's the spot that we find ourselves in. So more so than just a coffee shop, we see ourselves as kind of a community hub where people can come and gather together. They can talk about crypto or coffee or whatever they want to talk about, and kind of find community in these spaces around the city. And so for us, we've kind of found our lane in being a coffee shop that doesn't take ourselves seriously, but takes our product seriously. And then we had this angle with crypto, because I think that yes, you have all these other big businesses that are coming in, but at the same time, especially places like coffee shops, people want community. They want to be able to get, especially after the pandemic. People want to be able to gather and talk with each other and
connect with each other.
Yeah, and so like coffee shops in particular, and cafes and restaurants like those are poised to do really well coming out of this, as opposed to like some of your bigger chains, just in general.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the crypto aspect of your business and the community aspect, more and more people want to find people in the crypto space that are like them and want to go to a Dogebean or a Dogecoin coffee shop, if that makes sense, and they want to just be with people that are like them, and that's perfect. That's exactly what your business is doing. So it's perfect.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff for sure.
So who else is kind of involved in the business? Is it sort of like a family thing? Is it just like your own self building this from the ground up? Who's kind of involved with your business and helped you success?
Yeah, so it's my business partner and I, and then we have a couple baristas on staff, and then we have just financial backing that you would normally. So we have like angel investors and whatnot that have been a part of the process, and so but it's very homegrown. I mean, we're all friends and we've all known each other for years, and so it's been it's a really cool like thing. But yeah, it's not like a family owned or something like that. We're friends that have all come together about our love for coffee and now crypto, and so we're just kind of leaning into it and going for it. Yeah,
cool. That's awesome. Kind of just to get off the whole business questions and kind of get into more NFT, crypto, just broad Web3 related topics. Just for fun, what's your opinion on the metaverse, and what do you think is the potential of that? Obviously, you're more in like the physical crypto stuff, but what are your thoughts on
that? So my opinion of the metaverse, I think there's some really cool aspects to the metaverse. My concern is it needs to stay decentralized, right? And I think everyone's just got this dumb idea of the metaverse, of this place where you're going to put on your VR headsets and then go talk to people. Like, I mean, that's been around for years. Yeah. And so like, I don't want that. I don't think people in general want that. I think that this idea of being able to have new ways of interacting with people, I think that's always going to win out. So like metaverses look like several different types of games. We have metaverses already with video games, right? And these like MMORPGs or these whatever kind of games that people play where they have their own like economic system within them. What was it? It was like World of Warcraft, where like people were like actually paying each other real money to get some tokens that are in the game, which is insane to me. So that like those are all precursors to NFTs and these other things. So I like the idea of certain aspects of the metaverse, but for the most part, I think that it is way overhyped, in my opinion.
I think obviously it's a cool concept to think about with Web3 and everything, but I think it's just something that has kind of already been here, especially with the technology. Maybe the metaverse and decentralized is far away. It's like something with Web3. You can kind of talk about what it is, but it's such a broad topic, no one really knows what exactly it
for sure
be.
The biggest part about Web3, in my opinion, is ownership and bringing back a decentralized web. So the things that I get concerned about, and this ties in with metaverse stuff, is If you think about like when the internet first started, right? In order to have a website, you had to host that website. It was very decentralized, where you could find information anywhere. You could talk to someone on the other side of the planet instantly through the power of the internet. Like that was insane at the time. But then you had these, like when Google started, everyone was cheering on Google for having this like search engine that you can now explore the whole web. But the issue with like Google and then Facebook and Twitter and all of these things is it started sucking up all the energy in the room and centralizing the internet. Amazon Web Services is a perfect example, where if you want to have a website nowadays, chances are it's going to be running on Amazon Web Services. And so the thing is like with Web3 and the direction we're going in, ideally you would see decentralized web server capacity with like IPFS, like Filecoin is a good example of this, or Arweave, of being able to host your own Web3 sites, hosting your own like node, doing all this thing, pulling the power away from Amazon, pulling the power away from Google, and Facebook and these others. And I think these big corporations are wanting to come in, create their own metaverse and kind of own this aspect. And it's like, no, we don't want that. Like we want this thing to stay decentralized and have the ownership. So I'm really bullish on Web3. Not so much, playing like, having like a Minecraft like metaverse reality. Like I don't want that.
So I know we all here are bullish on the Solana coin. So what are your opinions on ETH 2.0 is going to come out, or the consensus layer?
So ETH 2.0, I'm excited for the transition to proof of stake. I'm not sure how it's really going to affect the gas fees, to be completely honest, because congestion will still be an issue, especially with Ethereum. They did that. The EIP was at 1559, where it basically started burning tokens. Anytime it got really congested, Ethereum started burning tokens and bumped up the price. That's great, except for when it comes into gas fees. So I'm really concerned about the directions that Ethereum's. I think it's going in a positive direction. They're putting security first, which is amazing. But I am concerned about, like, for the average user getting into crypto, they're going to have a really hard time with the gas fees on layer one and being able to understand it. I think if there becomes really great side chains that are decentralized and they could use Ethereum's base layer for security, like for instance, Polygon's a good example. If Polygon could be able to onboard people directly into layer 2, then I'm super bullish on Ethereum 2.0 because you like the security. But the issue, like with Polygon, even I read just a couple weeks ago that there was a massive bug that was exposed where someone could have stolen all of the Matic on the Polygon blockchain. So it could have taken all of it, which like billions of dollars worth of Matic just could potentially be gone. There was such a massive bug, and so I mean it's pretty wild what could potentially happen with the side chain. So I'm nervous about the future of Ethereum. I think ultimately it will be good, but I think it's going to be a bumpy ride to get there.
It's going to take some time as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So if anyone in the audience wants to come to Dogebeans and spend their Dogecoin on a cup of coffee, how can they find you or your business, social medias? How can they find all that?
Yeah, for sure. So you can go to dogebeans.com. So we're going to find basically everything that you need to know. Our social media, so on Twitter, we're Dogebeans, Instagram, Dogebeans Coffee. And then my personal Twitter is at Brutoshi. That's where you're going to find more of my like kind of crypto agnostic kind of views. But Dogebeans is where you're going to find like all the stuff that you'll need for buying a cup of coffee with Doge and other cryptos for sure.
Awesome. Yes.
Well, we just like to say thank you for having us, coming on to our podcast and having us in the shop and have the interview. It's just been a great time.
It's been awesome.
Thank you guys. It's been awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So, do you have anything to say, Michael?
I just want to tell the audience, go check out Andrew and his business on all social medias, and maybe if you feel so inclined, come check out the shop in Louisville. It's awesome. It's an awesome place to be. Also, if you want to support our podcast, you can follow us on Instagram at NFT_nation_podcast. And that's the same handle for our TikTok as well. And also, it helps us grow a lot if you share this episode with your friends. Maybe if you have any family members or friends that live in Louisville or anywhere in Kentucky that you want to tell them about this shop, that would be awesome. also give us 5 stars. That really helps our podcast grow. And yeah, I think that's going to be all for us today.
Yeah. Anything else to add?
Yeah, I was just say on Dogebeans.com we offer a couple different. So we're the only coffee subscription that you can buy using crypto. So you can set it to where it sends you a reminder to pay in crypto each month or bi-weekly, however frequent you want to do it. But we offer 2 different subscriptions. One in particular is my favorite. It's called the Roaster's Choice. We can send you the coffee that we're most excited about every month, that we're really passionate about. We want to send it out to people. We can ship it anywhere around the world. Just find it on Dogebeans.com. Be more than happy to send you some coffee that you can pay for with your Doge and other crypto.
Make sure you guys check that out for sure.
Yeah. So, guys, I hope you all learned something today, and have a good one.
Thanks for listening, guys.